Welcome back once again to howtocookgreatfood.com. If you haven't already, please click that button and subscribe to us. Okay, beef curry. This is delicious. Let's run through some ingredients. Okay, at the back there I've got some beautifully lean beef. There's no bone in there. There's hardly any fat on it at all. Cut into kind of long strips, stroganoff type kind of size. Tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, chopped nice and small. Onions, chopped nice and small. If you see these three, they're about the same quantity of each, roughly. Okay, I've got some fresh coriander there. On this side, I've what I call the big four, equal parts of cumin, coriander, haldi or turmeric, and chili powder. Or if you want, just go ahead and use your favorite curry powder. Not quite the same if you ask me. And I've got some salt in there. In the center there, I've got 2 teaspoons for this amount of ginger garlic paste, which is a 50-50 mix of fresh ginger and fresh garlic. Down here, garam masala whole. So we've got all different types of stuff in there on this one. I've got some fennel seeds, some green cardamom pods, I've got some cloves in there, I've got some black mustard seeds, I've got some bay leaf, and I've got a little bit of cinnamon stick there. This is absolutely delicious. Let's get started. Okay, so I've got my pan ready here. You're going to need a lid as well. I've got some sunflower oil in there. Go ahead and use whichever oil you like, mustard. It's entirely up to you, ghee even if you like. Get that a little bit hot and let's get in our whole spices, our whole garam masala. Like I say, as you can see, I've got in there black mustard seeds. They're going to start popping in a moment. Green cardamom, some cinnamon bark there, whole cinnamon, bay leaves. It's just, you know, wonderful. Already the aroma is coming out of these. This process right now is really important. So let's cook these, we can just do it for another 10 or 20 seconds. And what that will do will really infuse that oil with all of these fantastic, there you go, it's starting to pop and crackle now. With all of their flavours. It's going to give it a really wonderful head start for us. There you go, they're browned absolutely beautifully. Now what we're going to do is add our beef at this stage. Like I say, I've got a very lean beef, cut into strips. Just put this lid on a second, keep the noise down. No matter how lean your beef is, you're going to need to cook it really nicely. We want this nice and tender. I don't want to be eating some leather, you know, I don't want it chewy. So what we've got to do now is let's cook our beef like this with the lid on, just with those whole spices and that oil. Keep stirring it around. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Here we go then, let's get ourselves in there, let a little steam out. As you can see, quite a lot of moisture's coming out of this beef. Don't worry about that, that's fine. It's completely changed colour. Is it tender yet? No way, no way. So this is just a good head start that we've given it. We haven't done any more than that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is cook this with this lid off. And it will dry out and all this moisture will evaporate and it'll be beautifully dry at that point. So I'll be back then. I don't know how long it's going to take, to be honest, probably about just 3 or 4 minutes. There we are. That's dried out quite a lot. There's still a little bit of moisture in there. I mean, we're not trying to get this completely dry, and that was about 3 or 4 minutes for me. Now let's get our onions in. Chopped nice and small. Let's get that garlic ginger paste in. Give this a stir around. Absolutely fantastic. With these onions being so small, they'll kind of break down while we cook it and kind of create a nice gravy or masala. Okay, let's stick the lid on. I'm on a kind of medium type heat. I'm gonna cook that for about 6 minutes. Keep stirring it, see you then. Let's jump in now. Let me let some of that steam out. It covers the lens. Hopefully you can see that okay. As you can see, the onions have kind of changed to a more of a clear colour. Now I'm going to drop in some powders. Like I say, if you want, use your own favourite curry powder or do what I'm doing here. I've got some salt as well, and I've got chili powder, turmeric or haldi, cumin powder and coriander powder. They're all about the same amounts, apart from the salt obviously. Let's give this a fantastic little mix up. Now what I'm going to do is add our tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, cut them quite small. Now I'm going to spread them on the top. I'm not going to mix them in, don't mix them in now. Lid back on. Let's come back in 5 minutes. Hopefully the tomatoes would have broken down. They'll give us a nice masala or gravy. We may add a touch of water or not, but it depends on how juicy your tomatoes are. See you in a moment. Okay, I'm back now. Let me let some steam out of this because lots is going to come out. We can see how our tomatoes are doing. You can see they've broken down like that. Now we're going to mix in. Now this is a little bit dry for me. I'm just going to add a little touch of cold water. I mean, that wasn't a lot at all. I don't want this really, really wet. That's about kind of where I would like it. Let's get the lid back on. Let's cook that for another 5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes. Don't be frightened to stir it. See you then. Okay, the final stage. I'm going to turn off the heat. Let some steam out. There's going to be plenty of it again. There you go. Hopefully you guys can see that. Look at that. I mean, that's fantastic. That looks really, really good. What I'm going to do now, I didn't show you this at the beginning. It's completely optional. I've got some green chili. Add as many as you like, or don't add any at all, entirely up to you. Chop them if you like. I like to put them in whole, just let them kind of swim around in there a bit. They'll be still nice and crunchy for me, but like I say, your preference on that one. A little bit of garam masala powder, just a nice little finishing powder that is. And look at that, some fresh coriander going in. Let's give this a mix. And this wonderful beef curry is ready to serve. Check it for salt again, but I guarantee you, if you follow this process, that meat is really, really tender and nice and soft. And we've got a beautiful, beautiful masala. Hope you enjoy that. See you again soon. Bye-bye.